we go. All right. Alright, we're just doing the pace lap here, warming up. I guess while we do that, I'm going to do, I believe it's here. No, wait, wrong thing. I forgot to do this earlier. Turn off notifications. Perfect. Let's see, can I... Where's my Silverstone? Over touch. Alright, money. Nice and clean. Oh, maybe one more. There you go. Ready to go here. Alright, cruising on the pace lap. Let's see what we got. Let's check out some cars here. We got the pace car. Sweet safety car paint job. LMP Crispy leading the charge today. Pole and B lobby. Very clean paint job. I like the techie. It's like a woven tech, like it's almost like carbon fiber and different materials woven together. It looks cool. All right, PSUK Jack. It's this sweet British paint job. Very pretty. I like the texture overlay. Maybe Racing. Coons Auto Group paint job. Oh, it looks like everyone's getting tight here. About to group up and get serious. Just a mix of cars in the front, 3 Mercedes and then a bunch of other cars. But alright, here we go. Everyone just kind of racing politely so far. I'm surprised there hasn't been any contact or issues. Oh, speaking of which, a little contact on Emmerich back there. Looks like they got a little... Looks like he didn't get quite enough room to hold the outside line, but... Looks like everyone made it out alive. PSUK Jack leading the stint right now. Already overtook LMP Crispy. Might have been why Crispy didn't sound happy about the pole starting on the left. Pace car. Oh. Did he back out right as I was putting it on? What happened? Uh-oh. Alright. I think someone lagged out. Yep, someone lagged out. We're gonna have another restart. Racing line. Okay. Alright, well back to the B-roll. Everyone loves a good B-roll. Look at that beautiful B-roll right there. You see the crowd? Look how excited they are for the third restart. In the background, you see in the stands? See how excited they look? These people are pumped up Ready for the Silverstone 12-hour. Let's go. I just want to see some racing. There's always something, man. I hope it isn't like this all day. Like, there's always one stint that you have a bunch of restarts, stuff happens. I just hope it isn't 3 restarts every time. For my sanity, because I only had 3 hours sleep last night. I need the excitement of the race to keep me going, you know? Gotta have that hype. Alright, spectate. Hopefully everyone... Oh. It's a break. If it was a breaking line thing, he's gonna have to reload lobbies and stuff, so this will take a minute. No, this is the 4th start, but the 3rd restart. And so you're allowed 3 restarts. This is the last one. There's no restarting after this. If your brake line is messed up, if you lag out, tough luck. This is it. Alright? So guaranteed, this next start of the race, this is going to be the start of the race. It gets kind of, I mean, it's kind of frustrating as a streamer to be having it restarting all the time, but honestly for the guys in the race, this just kind of like, this just takes the pressure off. The first time the race starts, everyone's so pumped up, everything, it's a build-up for months to this, and it all kind of like comes to a head at the start of the race, but then you have that kind of adrenaline dump a couple of times, and after a few restarts, you're just chilling. Alright, it's warming up. It's loading up right now. Only seconds away from the official start of B Lobby in the 12 hours of Silverstone. Stint 1. Hour 40 minutes of racing ahead of us. Here we go. Follow along with the safety car this time. Pretty crazy paint job. Is that like a photorealistic face of Forza driver who passed away? Mozart. Hopefully someone in the chat can fill in. I'm not familiar with the story. I was waiting for them to tap the safety car. That would have been funny. That's horrible, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Rest in peace to Mozart. That's way too young to pass away, that's for sure. That's a beautiful paint, and we'll follow along with them for the remainder of the pace lap while the car's out here. Rest in peace, brother. Alright. Now we switch back to the start of the race. I'll probably have to do that, I'll do that at the start of every race. To watch the safety car. Actually, no, it's only Stint 1, I think the safety car is out, so I'm glad we got to do that. And honestly, if we didn't have 3 restarts, we wouldn't have gotten to, so it's pretty clutch. So we got some racing here. Everyone seems to be playing nice so far. I'm going to jump towards the back of the pack because they seem to be a little, they had their elbows out a little wider here. Look at these guys. Oh, that's what we're looking for, a little rubbing. Rubbin's racing, right? Let's scuff up these paint jobs. Gonna break them in. Oh, he broke it in already. Jump on with TMS Joe in the middle of the pack here, kind of just check out what's going on. Joe looking like he got the best line through Beckett's, or that last one, I don't think it was Beckett's, but that whole section, I just call Maggots and Beckett's. I know there's individual corner names, but don't have them all memorized. I think the last one starts with a P, but I can't remember the name. So we got, is that one car in the pits already? Emmerich going in the pits already? Does Emmerich have damage? No, that's not Emmerich. Who's that? Bandit. No? Why is this Resborg? I assume he has damage from that bump then, if he had to go in that early. I didn't get to see in time, so... Obviously doesn't have damage now. Let's get back to the racing. I'm going to jump on with some of the touring cars real quick and see how their race is going. Let's jump in like middle of... kind of back of the pack. The touring cars look like they're really tight. Like a tight pack over here. Do we... Oh, that was the safety car. No worries, just the safety car backing out. Yeah, Dark, so I think that was the safety car. I don't know if he just got disconnected and his car just drove off the track or something. I saw the safety car go into the pits, so maybe it came out of the pits and he disconnected and it just kind of spit his car out, but he's out of the lobby now, so no distractions. Starting a little spread out in the back of the pack here. Jump up towards the front with SLS Nathan. Looks like the tail of this pack. Let's see if they can clump up a little going into these last few corners. This last section, there's a lot of skill gap, a lot of time to be made or lost. So you could definitely see some action in these last couple corners. SLS Nathan having the lift there as his boy SLS Josh kind of didn't quite get the right line. That or the Audi is just a lot more agile through that section. I wouldn't doubt it. It looks like Josh is running the Chevy which has a 65% weight distribution. We are also running the Chevy on the our touring car team, and that car is it was really fun to tune in a sarcastic sort of way, because the 65% weight distribution is not fun to make turn reliably and as much as you want it to. Oh. Looks like the person behind them's popping in and out of existence. That's never a good sign. Jump on with OTR Furax, who's chasing Ito-san, one of his teammates in the OTR lobby. Oh, the Tic Tac paint. I don't think I got to see this one yet. That's pretty cool. Gotta keep it minty fresh. Ito-san catching a little too much curve and grabbing the grass, losing a little speed down the straight. Gonna let his teammate catch back up to him. And here comes Moogsy, cruising on the Bimmer. What's going on up here? Is that Josh? Josh and Nathan duking it out. Oh, I see a pass being made up front. Let's jump up to the lead pack in touring cars. Looks like Resborg must have had to, oh yeah, Resborg had to pit early, so he's got to drive through the touring cars already. This is, probably a worst case scenario in one of these Enduros. When you're a faster car, you're in the upper class, I mean, and you get into an early accident, you have to pit early, and then not only do you lose the distance on the rest of your class from the pit, and the damage and driving with the damage and all that, but then you got to drive through the touring car, or whatever, the lower class pack. So it's a really unfortunate turn of events for Resborg and his team to have an early accident like that. And of course there is no more restarts, so they had to just stick it out. So we'll see if he can make a comeback drive. He got his work cut out for him. If you see on the mini-map there, that red dot on the way back, looks like he's got about a mile to catch up. Or at least a couple thousand feet. I don't know if I'd say a mile, but a couple few thousand feet back. Yeah, probably a mile. That's right, he just wanted to pass everyone on the pit cycles. Switch up here, let's see what's going on. Check out this GT race. Jump on with TMS Joe. TMS Joe, my boy Owned and Maybe Racing. It's a nice little pack here. Maybe Racing, doing everything he can to hold off the overpowered Mercedes. It's just, look at how it's way too powerful down the straightaways. Watch as Own destroys him on the straightaway and then blows the braking zone because it's a Mercedes. So one thing the Mercedes is not great at is trail braking. Gotta kind of brake a little earlier than some of the other cars, like the BMW should be a lot better in the braking zone. Jump back on with Emridge, who should be catching up to the pack, since they're fighting each other right now. So far, so clean. I was kind of curious if anyone would extend that corner, but everyone seemed to take it pretty clean, so that was a good show so far. No one's desperate yet. TMS Joe trying to take a little too much of that inside curve and getting a traction bog, losing it onto the straightaway. Luckily, it's his teammate behind him, so they're, is this, oh, this is Emmerich. I didn't know Emmerich is running on TMS as one of their teams, so they are teammates, technically, so I can see why. He's just a little lucky that Emmerich wasn't trying to push for the position. I hurt them both. I'm kind of glad they backed out of that, though, because I want to see some pack racing here. Let's just go through and see how everyone's doing here. First place, we got PSUK Jack W. Picking up where he left off from the last Sunshine League race I was streaming. Leading the stint. Let's see if he can finish this time, though. Last time, he had some trouble down the stretch. He's led for most of the stint. And then Forza happened. Let's watch Crispy for a minute here and see how his car compares. Looks like their car is very bright. It's got a glow to it. I feel like I need sunglasses looking at their car. Alright, Crispy definitely pushing a little more speed through Beckett's and Maggots. Maggots and Beckett's, actually, I think, in that order. Oh, they seem pretty even. Honestly, I'm surprised that the LMP, that the Mercedes carried more speed into that the Maggots and Beckett section, because the McLaren should have a little more lateral G, a little more cornering. Mercedes has more straight line speed. Not a huge difference, but it should be enough that Jack should be able to hold more speed there, but it's easy to screw up the entry into that section, and then you gotta kind of let off, or you're gonna completely fudge the ending as you go onto the straightaway. Jump back in the pack here. Looks like we've got a little racing. Gonna be a tight race today, I think, between BNX Zone and Emmerich. I'm kind of struggling a little with that corner. Going a little deep on the brake zone. From tuning and driving the car so much myself, I can relate to that issue. It is a tough brake zone for the car for some reason. You feel like you can push it a little harder. Like there's other parts of the track, it trail brakes harder, no problem, but just for some reason in that one spot, it really doesn't want you to go too far into the red on the brake zone. Oh, we got a little traction bog. Some good sportsmanship here. Emmerich definitely had the speed. Could have pushed that line, but in the interest of not killing Owen, backed out. So good bro move. Alright, Emmerich opting to go into the pits early and not lose time fighting with Owen. Assuming some of these guys pit. Yeah, Resborg having a good comeback drive already. I'm assuming TMS Joe and Phaser pit. Looking at the timer, it seems a little early, but not horrible. I mean, it's almost 20 minutes into the race. feel like generally you want to push about 30 minutes on your pit cycle. Because if you pit early on one, you're going to have to push it longer on another. But everyone's got their strategy. Jump back with some of the touring cars here. Let's check out the gap between first and second and the touring cars. Not too bad. Looks like it's kind of a two-man race right now in touring cars between OTR Anonymous and EBT Valerius. A couple of fun names to say. Very simple paint on this, but I like the color choice. It's really just a nice palette. I mean, it almost looks like one of those color swatch things, like when you're Googling for colors and you're looking up palettes and they have those pre-made palettes. Like, it looks like it looks like one of those color palettes. But I like the contrast between the teal and the earth tones. It's pretty cool. Simple but effective. It's a little bit of a send on the inside by Anonymous. Catching that grass is going to lose him a lot of speed through into this section. This is going to allow Valerius to gain a lot of time. Oh, and Valerius fudges the entry into Maggots and Beckett's. If he hit that entry, he'd be right on Anonymous's bumper right now. Kind of gave him a break. All he had to do was drive that. Like, he sent it. All he had to do was hit it right. Because Anonymous, he still has to brake and turn in. So he's not going to have the same momentum. So he still would have gained without trying to, like, send it. It would have been a slight gain, but still a gain nonetheless. He definitely would have been right on his bumper through this section. But whatever, it's a good race. I like it. Gonna need some screw-ups to get him tight. Bring him together. See, is there any good battles going on? Uxie and Furax. Jump on with Bretward and Ito-san. Looks like they're having a nice little battle back here. Jumping on with Owned. Oh, what just happened? Oh, someone pit? Okay. Have someone else pit. They were really close, but not so much anymore. Aw, yeah, full send, baby. TORA lines. Bretwood a little early on the entry. Had to correct it. It's totally going to be up Ito-san's bumper if he hit it right anyways. Might have been partially why he turned in early, just on instinct. Bretwood looking like he's got the pace to get by Ito-san, but he just can't find the space to get around him. Touring cars kind of require the entire track to get all the speed out of them. I mean, all cars do, but especially a front-wheel drive. You can't turn much when you got it full throttle. So I feel like they got less feel like the touring car is more of a one-line car than like most of the GT tunes cars, the way they drive. So even though there's some decent space on this track compared to like the Nordschleife or something, it's still going to be really hard for these touring cars to overtake. When you gotta pretty much nose in on the inside and like get your elbows out. Like once you got the space, just kind of hold it. Don't let them block you out. Looks like it's gonna be tough to pass, barring mistakes. Let's see. Let's jump back up with some of the GTs. There's gotta be a race somewhere. Team S Joe and Maybe Racing pretty close to each other. Oh, I didn't even notice there's 3 guys here. Alright, I think we found the race, guys. Seems to be the preeminent pack to watch. Oh, on the touring cars. AWR Kurgan, let's check out the car. Looks pretty clean. Did he just pit? No, he didn't just pit. He's definitely got a few laps. Well, that's not a good sign, because Nathan has pit, and Kurgan is behind him. I'm not sure what happened. Kurgan's car doesn't look damaged, but he's pretty far back on the pack and hasn't pit, so, I mean, something happened. Maybe he spun out and didn't hit anything, but lost a lot of positions. If I had to guess, something along those lines, or maybe a few mistakes in a row, something like that. Who knows? I'm sure you guys will hear the story when he pits or when the stint's over. Okay, so let's go back here. See how this pack has been doing. Looks like they've kind of spread out a little bit. Emmerich and Joe still neck and neck. Oh, okay. So they are on the same pit cycle. Okay, that makes more sense. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I thought it was Resborg that pit on the first. I guess Kurgan must have pit too then, that makes sense though. Jump on with OTR Phaser. As he tries to catch up and battle with NWR Curzion, who we haven't got to hear from much so far in the stint. And so let's see some action between these two cars. And I just like to say the Hooters paint job is awesome. Everyone likes a nice pair of Hooters. Mmm, chicken wings. Man, I could go for some chicken wings right now, that's for sure. Is that an e-brake? Let me go to the dash view. Is he not using traction control? That looks like a no TCS. We go dash. Dash. Oh wait. Yeah. This. Back to phaser. Alright, now we can see things. Yeah, I don't believe he has traction control, because I believe it would be activating on the RPM gauge. So that would explain why he slid into that corner. If he had traction control on it, wouldn't have slid. Let's go on to Emmerich, and you should be able to see the traction. Is he using it? Nope. Emmerich isn't. Although, when the Mercedes is tuned right, you don't really need it. FCR Aspect, thanks for the follow, brother. Good looking out, brother. Oh, would you have to make a new Twitch account? Where's my alert box, too? I want to put that over the race timer so it doesn't look silly when it pops up. Okay. Just had to fix my stream organization a little bit there. Alright, let's find someone with traction control. What, no one's using traction control? Oh, there it is. See, Owen's got traction control. Owen doing pretty good so far. In the last race, we didn't have a seat for him on it. I think we only had 1 or 2 teams running. And so Owen was running on another team, and he was in C lobby. But Owen hasn't been able to run with the boys for a while, so I wanted to make sure he could get a good team this race, and he's doing pretty good in B lobby so far. He's actually been getting a little better lately. Me and Owen have usually been stuck around the same pace, and I say stuck because I'm the slowest guy on the team. That's why I'm a tuner, not a driver for the most part. I'm just kind of fill in when I need to. But Owen's actually gained a little pace lately. He's running probably about a half second faster around this track than me right now, so give him credit. He's been grinding in the background, sweating while offline, not even letting anyone know I'm sweating. Just out there grinding. Who knows? Maybe it's just because he's married, has a house. You know, he's more of a boss now. He drives more of an alpha. You know, more sure of himself. You tend to get like that when you make those kind of moves in life. I've seen that in the past with a Halo player where he was stuck around like semi-pro and then went out on his own, and I think once he finally moved out and just focused his time and efforts on his craft to playing Halo, then he was like a top 8, top 4 player instead of like barely top 32. And I'm starting to see that kind of progression with Owen. He's not quite top tier yet, but getting there. It's always nice to see a little progression in people. I've kind of plateaued, so I like seeing people get better around me. Let's jump up with the lead pack here in GT class. As they come up, it looks like to the touring cars. Get to see our first action and overtakes. Let's see if the touring cars can shake up the order in the front a little bit. You see Ito San's tires going nuts because, you know, he got pushed off of his line. The tires didn't like it. They're like, we can go on one line, otherwise you're blowing the tires up. Definitely not what Ito San wanted. What happened to Brentwood? Looks like he just rejoined the track. Go back here towards SSR Brentwood. Get damage or something? It looks like he just had to come back on the track. Or is that just the pit exit? It could be the pit exit. That would make sense based on his damage. Go back up here to the lead pack as they go through the touring cars. Yeah, I do what I can, Brooksy. I try. It's okay, Brooksy. I've worked my way up. I'm the leader of the team and the tuner, so I'm probably I used to be, but I've elevated from the internship. Yeah, PS UK Jack doing really good. Picking up where we left off in the Sunshine League race around Bathurst. I'm just hoping that Jack can keep up the pace for the entire stint. I believe it was like an hour 45 or something in that race, and for about an hour and a half he led the stint. But I think through fatigue of driving at that pace, he started to get a little burnt. I don't know if it was his second stint or whatever, but he started to make mistakes and kind of faltered towards the end. And I'm just hoping. I'm hoping he doesn't do it again. You know, it's tough to watch when you see a guy leading the stint for so long, basically the entirety of the stint, and just losing it right in the end. But, I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion, because LMP Crispy is right on his bumper, keeping Jack honest as they try to move through the touring car pack. OTR Alpina, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. You know, I'm trying to go faster, Carried. I really wanted to hit it too flat, but I just couldn't quite do it. I'm right on the board. I had a 208.1 in touring cars and a 201.1 in GT. I couldn't. It's just the wall, that threshold of where I consider being good. That's where I'm hitting the wall. I'm just outside of being decent. It's a lot better than I was last year or the year before, whenever we did this last time. So I'll take it. Silverstone has never been a good track for me, and honestly, this is the first time I've ever really put effort into it, learning all the nuances and the corners. In the past, the tracks always kind of looked the same to me. I never really liked it. It always felt like every corner kind of looked the same. I could never really tell where I was on the track. I keep thinking I'm coming into the home straight. Like, you have this corner, and then there's that other corner later on that looks similar. It just... I like it more now that I know it. Well, Shoya, you got an hour to figure it out, so hopefully you can reset your internet, the modem, router, all the good stuff. Give it a fresh reset, like unplug everything for a couple of minutes. Let it burp. Let all the charges dissipate. All the little caches and things on the processors, let those clear because the charges have to dissipate. And then restart everything. Hopefully your ISP isn't doing line work down the road, that'd be annoying. Yeah, that's not bad, Brooksy, that's right around what I'm doing. I was stuck at about a 201.7 and I got the tune right, dropped it to a 201.1. So I was like, I felt like that was a pretty good tune. I think that's what Owned is driving at the moment. What do you mean carried? You didn't lag out at Spa. You made it through Spa. I can't believe how consistent these guys have been driving. I've just been kind of looking at chat, but they've pretty much been about 10 feet apart for the last couple laps. So these guys are having a good little run here. Is there anything else going on? Make sure I don't miss anything. The front pack and touring cars is kind of tight. There's a decent gap between most of the GTs. Yeah, let's jump in with some of the touring car guys. Anonymous still leading, Valerius in second, Nathan in third, AWR Kurgan up to fourth. Would you look at that? I assume there was either something to do with the pit rotation or the GTs coming through the pack. Let's see, let's jump on here with AWR Kurgan as he makes his way back through the pack after his lap 1 pit stop. Interesting font on the 7s. They look like a bunch of Fs. It's the FFF team. Car number FFF. Oh, that's funny. It's an interesting font. I mean, that is great. Want to check on the SLS? Where is he at? SLS Nathan. I believe he is in third place right now in the touring cars. Kurgan? It's not Kurgan. Oh, it is, yeah. Kurgan was in fourth, it looks like. Nice overtake by Joe. Took a little sketch, but he made it by clean, no contact. Gotta love tight racing like that. Good driving by both parties. I'll jump on with the other SLS car. It's your boy Josh and the Chevy. Leopard Natural Power Drink. Is that an actual energy drink? Is this guy in a... So what is this, SLS and PTG? Is like a collaboration going on? I like that. It's a good team name. That stinks. I wonder if it raced against Uranium's, was it TX3, TXR, whatever the GT3 team that he worked for in the pit crew. I wonder if they ever raced against each other. So they competed in that Lambo series. Lambos and Ferraris, all that good stuff. Jump on here with Furax as some of the upper class cars come to overtake. This looks sketch. This is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, Kurzian was thinking about taking the inside there, but backed out. Thankfully he didn't push that, or I think they both would have had some fun. Tight driving here. Farax almost bumping NWR into the hairpin. Just really tight driving. Gotta love to see it. AXR Bandit ripping in the Lambo on his way back up. Let's jump on with the Lambo. I haven't sat on board with him yet. Am I not allowed? There it is. She got this Lambo paint. Oh, they got the Ruby anime paint. It's a nice paint. I wonder if this was, I wonder who did this paint. Was this Insomniac, or who did the vector art for the character? Looks good. Was Insomniac? See, I called it. When you see a nice anime character looking just like they do in the show, it's pretty much either, I believe, the Witch Lady, or Witch Lady, something like that, or Insomniac. Usually Insomniac, I'd say 9 times out of 10, but the other one I've noticed that VNX Comey swears by. The Witch Lady does really good anime work. Let's see if there's any difference in the lead. They were, yeah, the lead hasn't changed. It's still PSUK Jack in first, with LMP Crispy pretty much 10 feet off his bumper, just content to cruise control. I think they're just, at this point, I think they're just drafting each other. They're just bump drafting and getting distance for their teams. They're not even battling. There's no way that you're 10 feet off of someone's bumper for 5, 6 laps in a row, 10 laps, whatever it's been, and don't even try to nose in and overtake, unless you're just trying to draft and, like, basically just bump draft and help each other out. I mean, they're similarly paced, so it is in both of their teams' best interest to work together like this, rather than to battle each other and then lose distance on the rest of the field. Not even just the people in this lobby, but the other lobbies. Like, if A lobby is battling, then these guys are probably gaining some good pace on the lead packs in, like, A lobby, because they at least get the draft advantage as well. It looks like first and second in touring cars has been the same for a while. Still OTR Anonymous and EBT Valerius leading the touring car race. With It's Your Boy Josh, OTR Furax in 4th, and Moogsy in 5th. I'm gonna jump on with Crispy. Oh wait, no, I'm still on with Crispy. I was gonna switch to someone else, but I was just thinking, like, I wonder if they heard me and now they're gonna start battling. No. Alright, let's see someone who's battling. I wanna see some rubbing here. How's Bandit doing? Is he chasing down Kurzian yet? In the Ruby car? Lambo looking pretty clean though. Let's check out some telemetry. Everyone loves telemetry. I'm just kidding, I love telemetry. I'm probably the only... Probably me and maybe Carried and shit, I don't know. Looks a little stiff in the low speed corners, but probably means it's pretty aggressive in a corner like this. distance from leader up. Jump on here with Ito-san. Just trying to catch up with SSR Brentwood. And looks like we have a GT coming up. OTR Phaser. So we'll see how Phaser can get through this little clump of touring car action. Kinda hoping that it gets these guys closer together and we can see a little battle. I would hope not, but possibly. I mean, you could tune for it, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. Where's that one? The green one? Stay on Ito-san for a minute. Here comes Phaser. So Phaser got around Ito-san clean. So I'm kind of hoping Phaser tries to pass on like the inside here. Oh, no. Doesn't have room. This is what I was hoping for. Ito-san lets the GT by clean. Brentwood catches a little grass, gets pushed wide. Does not look like Ito is able to capitalize on the battle, the short battle in front. Brentwood prevails, keeps his position. No, he definitely keeps the position, but keeps the distance gap as well. See how Kurgan's doing back here with Nathan. Oh, it looks like Bandit in the Lambo just overtook Joe. Let's go check out that action. Something happened up here. I just saw on the ticker that Joe got overtaken, so I assume Joe, because of the distance back there, fell back for some reason. Dude, look at how overpowered the Mercedes is. It's getting pulled on by a Lambo? A car that no one really wanted to pick? Would you look at that? I don't know, guys. I think I see some balance here. Honestly, the Lambo is definitely the most unsung car in this race. Because I had a feeling that they were going to pretty much use the builds from the past Silverstone race. They're going to basically be the same things with very few tweaks. So early, you know, well before builds were out, we were torture testing all these cars, trying to see what they could do. And the Lambo, with a stock tune, was putting up some of the best times. It was a really capable car. It's just funny that no one saw the potential in it and picked it. It's kind of funny. I think it's the power handicap. But yes, Brooksy, definitely hearing a vape. Gonna be vaping to keep the heart rate up and stay focused today. Oh, I just saw Sunshine's comment. Yeah, Sunshine, I do have the timer finally. Thanks to Lawrence for hooking it up. So I am ready for future races. I don't know if you got to see the start of this, but I got a nice intro video from what TORA has. So every time the race starts, you get a sweet TORA intro. Had a nice nice graphics package for this race. Yeah, let me switch off the guy in the pits. I was looking at chat. Sorry about that. Jump on with Curzion. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Brooksy. I think, honestly, all of these cars can be really competitive. Like, even the Bentley. I have a Bentley tune I made. I tuned it for Suzuka when we were testing, and I felt like the tune was really good. It just needed one extra width on the rear. It had 345 instead of like 355, whatever it was. It was like -10. So I made a hopper build with a max rear in that tune, and dude, oh my god, that thing, it's so nice. All over the place. The thing can hit, like Legacy was testing it on a few different tracks, and he was getting within 1/10 of his PB in a few laps. Like, he has his PB in the leaderboard car, and he was getting within 1/10 of it in the Bentley. So, like, even, you know, Bentley honestly has the most acceleration out of the corners. So, it is a pain. Like, if you get stuck behind a Bentley, it's so hard to pass because they just pull out of the corner. Even though if they're a little slow through the corner, they're just going to hold you up and then pull down the straightaway. So even the Bentley wasn't a bad car to race in. It was really annoying. It would have been really annoying to pick, if someone picked the Bentley. But yeah, Lambo is definitely a hard car to tune. I agree with that. Mercedes can kind of be an annoying car to tune too. You gotta get the spring rates right. Like the spring rate and roll bar combination has to be on point. Or that thing slides out just like the Lambo. Low contact, got some racing going on. Overall, though, I gotta say this has been a pretty uneventful stint. Everyone driving pretty polite, giving each other room, understanding that it's better to, like especially in the case of the lead pack, it's better to try to draft and run with each other than battle and lose distance on the rest of the grid. Look at Resborg, though, up in third. Not too far off the lead right now. He had a first lap pit. Was way back from everyone. Actually had to drive through the touring cars early on too, and I was saying that that was really hard to have happen. But obviously he's faring really well. Jump on with Resborg for a minute. Yeah, he's definitely driving like he shot out of a cannon right now. He's trying to catch up to the lead pack, and he's making progress. We got 43 minutes left in the stint, so at the pace that Resborg is catching up. And for a second there, did it look like these guys might have gotten close? No, they were close into the last part of that, but that's just deceiving. It's like saying like, oh, are they close right here? And then Jack gets on the throttle and pulls away. We'll see, though. I kind of feel like first and second in the GT class, like I said a few times now, are just kind of drafting, working together. But at the same time, I feel like they're getting lulled into a false sense of security because here comes Resborg pushing with no one to chase, no one to fight him in the back, open track, and he's just out here ripping it, hot lapping, trying to gain distance. I'm kind of thinking that down the stretch, this is going to be a race between these three guys. we'll see how it turns out, but I'm looking forward to that. I think in about 40 minutes this is going to be a good battle. And jump on with our boy Owned. See how Own's doing. Full sending. Let's see here. That B lobby, where's Resboard? Oh yeah, he is driving on AWR Italia. And it looks like he's on the team with AWR Nova and Pepavag. I think Nova in particular in the last race at Spa was getting into it with TMS. There was a lot of rubbing, a lot of action going on. And I know that AWR dodged an SI because I had clipped something a week after before it before the VOD disappeared. But by that point SIs had already closed, and TMS, or whoever it was, I think it was LMP TVR or something like that. They would have definitely submitted an SI if they knew it was recorded, but so AWR getting away with that one. Hopefully they have a better race. Resborg's doing well. Looks like Kurgan's doing well. Everyone's driving nice. No one's rear-ending into hairpins. So I hope all is forgiven from the last race. I just want to see some good racing out here. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm against the AWR boys. I remember they were pointing that out last time. Definitely love seeing the teams from around the world. We got the OTR guys from France, AWR from Italy. A lot of these teams have players from around the world. It's good to see some fresh faces competing out here. And jump back here with AX4 Bandit. Where's Kurzian? Kurzian should be right behind. Yep, there we go. So we got a little pack here. I'll jump on with Kurzian so we can see the whole battle unfold in front of us. See, first and second still doing their thing. Looks like they're back up in a pack. They had a little distance between them before, but now they're back into a nice draft. First and second place in GT. Looks like a little bit of a gap has developed in the touring car race between Anonymous and Valerius. SSR Brentward in third right now in the touring cars. And then SLS Nathan in fourth in TC right now in B lobby. And then AWR Kurgan rounding out the top 5 in the touring cars. Oh, SLS is Scottish? I didn't know that. And it's funny, SLS is a team you've seen around for years. Didn't know they were a Scottish team. mean, Fanatics, I'd say, is more of an American team, but we got guys from all over the place. UK, Portugal, Brazil, Mexico. Got a lot of members from around the world. It's pretty chill. I love that aspect of it. It makes it kind of a pain to coordinate time zones sometimes, but luckily the especially like Comey is in New Zealand. She's on like for us in America, the race started at 10 a.m. Eastern. For Comey in New Zealand, the race starts at 2 a.m. on Sunday. So it's actually Sunday in New Zealand. Kind of a crazy time zone difference there. Looks like someone went in the pits there. Yeah. Alright, let's jump back on with oh, look at that! LMP Crispy is taking the lead in GT. I don't know if Jack made a little mistake and Crispy was like, alright, let's switch places, I'll take lead draft. It's probably something to do with the touring cars, I'd have to guess. As they're overtaking the touring cars for the second time. Second or third? I think second. Crispy, a little late on the brakes. Just like I was saying earlier, the Mercedes kind of struggles in that brake zone. For whatever reason. McLaren definitely a lot more reliable on the brakes in that section. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much where the McLaren gives you more entry and mid-corner. Mercedes is going to be a little stronger down the straightaways. Now Crispy should start pulling. Grass didn't help. Luckily for Crispy, he's got just enough room to finish out his exit line here in that sector and be able to go around the touring car. Here comes a sketchy entry though. Commits Kara. Let's see how everyone navigates this situation. Luckily for the GTs, Kara holding their line very clean, giving them the inside to pass. Everyone makes it out alive. That was a very sketchy corner to go too wide into the entry. Commix Kara, new face on the grid here. Is that a new member to the Kimmix crew? Yep, Crispy finally went around Jack. I don't know if I'd say got around Jack. It didn't really look like they were battling much. I think they've just been kind of cruise controlling together. It's a very if you consider this a battle, this would be the most patient battle I've ever seen. OTR Furax had a little issue on the entry there, but stiffened up real quick when he saw the GTs coming up on his inside. Crispy carrying a little too much momentum into Beckett's there, kind of slid, losing his momentum into the exit onto the straightaway. This should be where Crispy pulls, but he didn't hold that sector properly, so now the McLaren's gonna be right on his tail. And the McLaren should be faster through this last sector, so I imagine they're going to be right on each other's bumpers going down the home straight. Let's see what we got here. See what we got for a race. It could have also been that Jack just didn't have the ability to pass Crispy because Crispy's car is a little better out of the corners and on the straightaway. It's generally harder to pass a car like that when you have a traction car. I mean, he's pretty much Jack. He's got to beat him in the braking zone. And right here in this braking zone, into this next corner, Crispy struggles with. So I'm going to assume that Jack makes this move stick. I don't think Crispy can do anything about it. He can't hold the speed through there like Jack does. So yeah, there we go. Jack's back in front. Crispy's trying to stay tight with him, but lifting at the last second to make sure he doesn't unsettle Jack's car. Good driving by both guys here. Alright, I assume they must have done third pit because there's 30 minutes left in the race. Pits close in 20 seconds. If they haven't done their third pit, then they don't have time to make it, so we'll look. That's a good question. Doesn't look like he needs to pit, depends on the cycle. Pit was back there, I believe, so if they're gonna pit, they would have done it there, so they must be on their final. Oh wait, no, what am I saying? I'm confusing myself because the race timer, I'm used to doing the math in my head, so 30 minutes remaining in the pit on the timer is 10 minutes left in the race, which is when the pits close. So pits don't close for another 20 minutes. So I would assume that these guys have not done their third pits. They're probably going to pit sometime in the next 20 minutes. So I would say that these guys have only pit twice. Let's go back. Let's check out with Owned here. I think Owned is on he's on a similar. Ooh, we got some action here with the touring cars. Oh, and a little contact on the curb unsettles Owned's car. Man, what a pack. I'm glad we jumped in here to check out damage. That was good timing. Emmerich makes it through. So real quick, I just want to check damage to look at where they are in their tire and fuel wear, and then I want to go back to that pack of touring cars. Alright, so Emmerich looks like he's on the same pit cycle. And here's Resborg. So Resborg has done their final pit. Looks like Resborg is definitely in third place. He's in a net third right now. Once Owned and Emmerich get their pits done, then Resborg should be in third. I don't think he's caught up to first and second yet, like I was hoping. We still have a half hour left in the stint almost, so still plenty of time for things to happen. Oh, and there's the first pit. LMP Crispy. Wait, what? Who's this? Oh, PSUK Jack? Jack goes into the pits. LMP Crispy's in first. Okay, the thing got screwed up. So let's see how far off Resborg is on PSUK Jack, because that's pretty much how far he is off the lead pack. So here's Resborg, here's Jack, and this is pretty much the gap from third to second place. Third to first, however you want to call it. This is pretty much the same thing. So let's jump back with these. Those touring cars looked like they were having all the fun. It was Moogsy. It was right in the middle of it. They might have pit and spread out a little bit. Vidovsan, SLS, Nath, Moogsy, Brentward. Oh, looks like we missed some good racing there for a second. Caught some of it as the GTs were overtaking though. Let's jump on with VNX owned. Our boy owned here. Let's see how he does while he's in second place until he has to pit. But for now, Owned is in second place in GT. Not a net second, but a second nonetheless. Jump on with PSUK Jack as he catches up to Owned. I'm sure Jack is hoping that Owned pits before he catches up to him so they don't have to battle. Personally, I kind of hope the same thing. Owned's doing well so far, and I don't want to see any more contact spinouts like he had with the touring cars there for that moment. That nice smooth corner by Jack. That was such a clean entry. It almost looks slow because of how smooth he took that, but like, look how nice the McLaren goes through the Maggots and Beckett sector. This is why when people were saying the Mercedes is overpowered, it's like, it's really not. I mean, purely on hot lap pace, I think the McLaren is the fastest car out here. It's just, if you can get the Mercedes to like be stable when you're throwing it around, not bog. It's really hard to get around the Mercedes if you're in a McLaren, but the Mercedes got a little more pep on the straight. I mean, the McLaren does have the brake zones though, as we saw earlier when Jack got around Crispy, passing him in the brake zone where the McLaren struggles. I mean the Mercedes. Owen doing pretty good to hold the gap against Jack so far. Looks like he's warming up pretty well. Yeah, Owen looked like he had a little too much slip angle between each corner, so every time he had to cut back, he has to turn even harder. You know, like if you can get through the corner with the car pointing straighter, getting ready for the next corner, you don't have to turn as much. So it looks like Owen's biggest time losses are that braking zone into turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into turn 6, and Maggots and Beckett. So I feel like if you could clean up those, you'd be running some pretty good pace. And Owen just allows Jack through. Not looking for the battle. He knows that he's down net on the pit. So it looks like he's just going to try to draft Jack until he's got a pit. Not a bad strategy. Better than battling. Jump back on with Owens and see it from the other perspective. See if he can keep up with Jack for a few more laps before he's got a pit. Owen has been pushing these tires for a while. I assume they're going to be getting close to orange by now. Yeah, his front left is just dipping into the orange. Plenty of fuel left. So Owen does have to pit within the next 10 minutes. And Jack, a little wide on the line into the final part of Maggots and Beckett's, catching some grass, losing speed down the straight, and letting Owen get back into the fight. I'm not sure either of them want a battle right now. Hopefully, is Owen going to pit here? Yes, he is. I was kind of hoping he'd pit here. He needs the tires anyways. It is about time. Alright, and there goes Owen for his final pit. Jump back on with PSUK Jack, as it looks like Crispy went in for their final pit. So this is the final order between these cars. Resborg back here in third. Not a huge difference between the gap between Resborg and Jack and Crispy. I was saying with about 45 minutes left that I was thinking Resborg would be able to catch up at the pace he was driving, gaining on the front pack. Didn't mean to switch off there. Oh! And we got a little contact here. Looks like Jack thought Valerius was going to give him the inside on that corner. Almost looked like Valerius meant to, but kind of turned it a little too much. And then Forza Glue did the rest. I don't think it was definitely just a racing incident. It looked like, if I had to say anything, I would say that Valerius should have given him more room on the inside so he didn't screw up the battle in first and second in the other class, but in the same respect, I think Valerius is, what, is he first or second? Yeah, so Valerius is actually winning in touring cars. I assume, well, that is also because Valerius hasn't pit yet. Here's OTR Anonymous that was winning the race. It looks like went in for their final pit, so that contact with Valerius is definitely not what he was looking for. So that's going to push him back on the battle. It's going to drop him back on net second. Like he's going to should still be second by a fair bit, but that's going to kind of hurt the battle for first and second in touring cars. And then good going on in the back here. Yeah, let's jump on with Bandit and Curzion for a minute and see how this battle shakes down. First and second still gotta get tighter. Actually, it looks like there's... Oh, is there an overtake happening here? Is that what that is? Yep, okay. Let's hop on with OTR Idowuf's on. He's in last place at the moment. Remember at the start of the race when I said I was going to live vicariously this stint through OTR Idowuf's on? Sadly, I feel like this is about where I would be. So good driving, Ito. I probably wouldn't do much better. I'll follow on with Moogsy for a minute. I don't even... Yeah, this is the first time I've been on Moogsy's car. Gotta show some love. Oh, this is Dark Twist team? Okay. And the BMW. BMW looks like kind of a chore to drive. You can't full lock entry on that corner. You gotta like smooth steer or it wants to spin out. That's fun. Must be really fun driving a rear wheel drive with that wheelbase. It's almost like a Civic hatchback with a rear wheel drive conversion. These are never fun to tune. Really good if you get them perfect, but that's a... Gotta know what you're doing. Jump on here. Oh. You know what? Yeah, let's stay on here for a minute. Gotta show Moogsy some love. Bandit and Curzon continuing a nice battle. Look at that as they come by and overtake cleanly. Two battles going on and no one contacting. Gotta love to see it. Good driving by everyone. Jump up here on Emridge and look at the battle for 4th place, owned in Emridge. Alright, there we go. Just tweaking some volume settings real quick. Turn the alert notifications down so when I get a follow it's not quite so deafening. Owned a little late on the entry there. Held the line pretty good considering he had to go over the curb. There you go, Owned. That was a good entry. A little late on the turn into that second corner. Solid exit. Didn't want to catch the grass because of traction box and lose his speed onto the straight, but what are you going to do? Sometimes you just gotta send it because you're already there. Touring cars, we're getting good touring card battles. Let's jump on here with, actually I'm going to go with Anonymous as, Anonymous and Valerius duke it out for the lead. Anonymous has been leading the race, and we saw that contact earlier when they weren't on the same pit cycle where Valerius got, spun a little bit by the GTs. Didn't lose too much time, but I did not expect to see Valerius in front of Anonymous right now, so we got a nice little change in pole in the touring cars. As maybe Racing comes through. Haven't got to give him much screen time so far, but here he is grinding. I feel like maybe Racing was in A lobby at Spa and was doing pretty solid, or I might be mistaken, but 7th and B lobby I feel like is not up to par for maybe Racing. Could be mistaken, but that's what my instincts tell me. I don't know if the tune's wrong, he had a bad stint. I think he started more towards the front. Alright guys, a couple minutes ago, pit's closed, so no one's allowed to pit. Or, they should have at least had their third pit done by now. I believe you can pit a fourth time if you get damaged and you need to, but you need to have done at least 3 pits by this point. So we're going down to the home stretch in Stint 1, guys. Been a pretty clean stint for the most part, only a little bit of rubbing here and there. Mostly Forza glue spinning people out. Not a lot of really bad crashes that I've witnessed anyways, just cars being thrown off balance for a minute. Stay on with this battle for the lead in touring cars. Seems to be the best thing going on the track at the moment. Owen's still doing a good job of holding off Emridge. LMP Crispy kind of running away from PSUK Jack down the stretch. And just like I said at the start of the race, the last time I saw Jack, he was leading the race pretty much the entire stint for the first hour and a half, give or take. And with 10 minutes left, looks like he's starting to get fatigued and is falling off pace a little. It's letting Resborg close the gap to second place, and Jack is losing distance on first. I don't know if Jack needs a Red Bull Maybe Jack should have a coffee, so during his third pit he can drink a little coffee to finish the home stretch. But this seems to be a behavioral pattern with Jack, that he starts to get fatigued after about an hour and a half into the stint. Jump on with Jack, through the gap between him. He's been on the bumper of Crispy the entire race. These guys have been about no more than 50 feet apart the entire stint. I don't know if Jax is slowing down or if Crispy is putting on the afterburners. Either way, the gap looks pretty convincing right now, so we'll jump back on with the touring cars. Alright, 5 minutes left, guys. Getting close to the finish here. Home stretch. Only a couple laps to go. You got pretty much the rest of this lap and give or take 2 more laps after that. I'm curious to see how B lobby pace stacks up in A lobby. Especially with PSUK, Jack, and Crispy, you spend most of the race drafting instead of battling. I feel like their cars got pretty good distance, and the AWR car that Resborg is driving is probably doing pretty well too, because he's not far off of them. Jump on with our leader LMP Crispy real quick as he navigates the touring cars. See if he gets held up at all. Looks like he should be able to get through this corner and then get around Moogsy before the next section. He lifted a bit, gave him the pass. Crispy going a little wide. He got sucked out by the grass, but decided to keep sending it because whatever, I'm here. This is TORA, and you know, sometimes if you're offline, you're gonna go wide a little bit. It's okay. Everyone does it. You do it too much, it becomes deliberate, then you get in trouble. If you're offline, you get sucked up by the grass, you gotta drive a little funny to make sure you can hold your momentum. Not the end of the world. It's racing. These guys are pushing the car to their limit, so they're gonna make mistakes here and there. We got a little race here. Last lap. Less than a lap to go. Anonymous trying to push Valerius down the stretch here. They've been kind of driving pretty polite, but with less than a lap left, they're taking the gloves off, and it looks like Anonymous is trying to regain the lead. Here comes OTR Phaser passing by the battle. Phaser went a little deep into that brake zone, not what these guys want to see. Phaser screwing up that sector, kind of screwed up Valerius. He had to lift, or he might have bumped him on the outside. Phaser's gone, but the damage is done. OTR Anonymous retakes the lead in touring cars. Valerius trying to nose in on the outside, but doesn't have the momentum. Let's hop back on with Valerius and see if he can try to overtake the position. Again, we got 20 seconds left in the race. And Anonymous catches a little grass on the inside. It's going to hurt his exit. Luckily for him, it doesn't look like he's worse off for hitting the grass. 3 seconds left. 2, 1, and a stint. I think OTR Anonymous might have stopped a touch early, or my timer was off, but it's all the same. Great driving, great end of the race. So let's go up through the pack here. We got LMP Crispy finishing first in the stint. SLS, it's your boy Josh, just lagged out last second after the end of the race. Tell him to clip it. SLS people or whatever team he's on, tell him to clip it right now. Clip it so he gets the distance so he can submit it after. Alright. So first place we got LMP Crispy, followed by PSUK Jack in second place. Resborg for the AWR team in third. VNX Owned in fourth. Emridge in fifth. TMS Joe in sixth in GT. Maybe Racing seventh. OTR Phaser in eighth. AX4 Bandit in the Lambo in ninth. NWR Curzian in 10th. And that rounds out the GT class. First place in the touring cars, we got OTR Anonymous. Second place, EBT Valerius. Followed by AWR Kurgan. Had an early pit and a good comeback drive.